Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time zone you are in right now. So, thanks for joining. Welcome to the second webinar of this year. I see the same people like from last webinar about the mass migration joined again. Thanks for your interest in Hystax. Thanks for the time you dedicate for this webinar. So, I'm your host, Edwin, Global Sales Director of Hystax. Most of you guys know me. As I can see, we have our loyal partners in the call, plenty of them. Also, prospects we are right now talking to, which are doing a POC, checking our solution, and a couple of new guys. So, welcome to you as well. And for this reason, as always, as you know, I need to quickly ramp up a little bit about who we are, Hystax, Acura, how does it work. I know the guys who work with us know this already, obviously, but nevertheless, they're new guys, so we need to go through it, but I will make it really short, and then we talk about the topic of today, which is, let me share my screen, which is double storage. Double storage is the combination of the two worlds, disaster recovery and backup. The agenda is quite short. Quickly ramp up what is Hystax Acura, how does it work, and then the topic of this webinar, double storage in backup and disaster recovery, and as always, also a Q&A session. And the technical part, as always, is done by my co-host, our CTO and co-founder, Max. Okay, let me get started. Hystax company from the beautiful Bay Area, a specialist in migration, backup, and DR. Lots of experience. The solution is, we are not a startup which is now trying to see if our solution can get some adoption on the market. This is really field proven and available at scale. As you know, we have two products. Hystax is the name of the company. Acura is the product we are going to talk about today. We also have OptScale, quite interesting actually, but not for today. Today it's about Acura, which is a software that manages all three use cases, migration, DR, and backup, because the flow in all three cases is more or less the same. There are some differences, but it's all about replicating data, incremental replicating, snapshotting, installation of replication agents, and so forth. Yeah. So this is why Acura covers all these three use cases. And the migration, we all know Broadcom, VMware, the exodus from VMware is still ongoing. So the topic of our last webinar, the mass migration away from VMware, is still very hot topic. But of course, there are other things as well, like backup and disaster recovery. Hystax is an ISV, an independent software vendor. This means our go-to-market is 100% via partners, MSPs, CSPs, companies like you. Yeah. These are the platforms we support. On the source, literally almost everything. So there are two exceptions. It's much easier for me to say what is not supported than what we do support, because there were just not more space for logos on this slide, but everything you think, hey, what about Proxmox? What about CloudStack? Citrix Sense Server? Yes, yes, yes. So we support, since we have two types of agents, internal and external application agents, and the internal agent is just a Windows or Linux service. We can use it on any source, even bare metal. The only thing which is not supported on the source side is IBM AIX and Solaris bare metal. So physical servers, yes, but not if they are from Solaris. That's the only limitation on the source. On the target, obviously, it's different. Here, it's necessary that our software is integrated and supports the target platform. And we have done these integrations to all hyperscalers, KubeVirt, OVirt, OpenNebula, OpenStack, VMware as a target as well. Cloud Sigma, our latest or newest platform we support. And Cloud Stack is already here, but to be honest, it's still not available. We support it in the next 2 weeks to 2 months. So there's different. We have slight initial support with some feature which goes on cost on expense of some features already from next week. But the real full integration might take some weeks more. But since I'm always ahead of my time, it's already on the slide deck. Yeah. OpenStack, which is now really fashion. Many companies going away from VMware to OpenStack, is our true mother garden, as you know. So if the target is OpenStack, no matter if it's Red Hat, Canonical, Mirantis, all these big vendors, or any OpenStack distribution from Mitaka upwards, is 100% supported, and not just supported, it's where our true expertise is. So, but let's not talk about migration, let's talk about disaster recovery. If you talk about disaster recovery, as you all know, there are two values everyone is asking about. One is the RPO, the other one is RTO. Our RPO by default is 5 minutes on Windows machines and 3 minutes on Linux. And this is the default. Most tenders or RFP where we participate, they ask for 15 minutes. So 5 and 3 minutes is already quite good, but it can even get faster. We have an option where we can change the replication schedule from every 20 minutes, every 5 minutes. So you can set these schedules as you wish. But if you choose the option, continuous data replication, where we really take one snapshot directly after another. So one is taken and the next one, and the next one, and the next one after another. If we do this so-called continuous data replication, we can bring down the RPO to 40 seconds on Windows and 7 seconds on Linux. So much about the RPO. So no 0 second, 0 RPO, no, doesn't exist with Akura, but close to 0, minutes to seconds. So much about the RPO, now about the RTO, recovery time objective. Recovery time objective, the experts among you would immediately spot that I don't know what I'm talking about if I say 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes. You cannot throw such a specific number if you talk about RTO, because it really depends too much on the overall complexity of the environment. Boot order, boot delay, bandwidth, whatever, complexity of the environment, yes? But what we can say, because, and this is relevant for the double storage, Max is going to talk about in 5 minutes, we use block device volume storage for our disaster recovery solution. As you can see here in our slide, block storage. This means that we can boot the machines directly from the volumes, opposite to like Cloud Endure, for example, on AWS, who is using object storage, which is cheaper, yes. But if then there is a disaster and you have to do a failover, what happens? You first have to go to the object storage, retrieve the data from there, create a disk first, then from the disk a VM. Come on, that delays the RTO easily by 30 or 45 minutes. Opposite to that, Hystax, Akura, can boot directly from the volumes. So our booting time actually is just the booting time of the machines, which per machine is a minute or less. So very good RTO and RPO. Fully automated, of course. If we talk about disaster recovery, we mean a fully automated failover and also failback. Here it depends on the failback destination. There are different options how we failback, with reverse migration, with failback agents. This depends, but this is too specific to cover it right here, because I wanted to make it short, as I promised. So agentless replication, yes, if we can use the external replication agents. Otherwise, we use internal replication agents. For us, anyhow, it doesn't matter, and for you, it should not matter too much as well. So with Hystax Akura, you as an MSP or CSP can really offer your customers DR as a service from any source to target and failback between clouds, from on-prem to clouds, even offline in a data center with the right hardware. And here we see the flow. As always, we have the source side where we have now, for simplicity, one machine. It could also be 10 or 10,000 machines, where we have the replication agent, either internal or external. For the flow, it really does not matter. The agent connects automatically with the Hystax controller, which is running in the target cloud. So for the new guys, Akura is a software. Yes, it's a set of Docker containers orchestrated by Kubernetes, but provided to you as an image, as an appliance, and you install it on a VM running in the target side. So in case of OpenStack, in a separate OpenStack project. So at the end of the day, Akura is an instance running in a target side, yes? And here you see some of the containers. Of course, there are more. These are the main ones, the UI, the orchestrator, the V2V and P2V transformator, and the receiver. And you can also use APIs. The solution is fully covered by RESTful API, but normally you use the UI, and then you download the agents. Agent connects with the controller, does the snapshotting. First, we take an initial full copy of the machine and then the incrementals, yeah, the deltas between two snapshots. Those get stored in block stores, as I mentioned. And then when there's a disaster and you want to fail over, then we boot the machines directly from those volumes and in an orchestrated way. So in a certain order, of course, because we all know that there are dependencies among the machines. So you can set the boot order, for example, first the machine with Active Directory, then the one with Oracle databases, then afterwards moving the clients to the databases, and so forth. This is called orchestrated launch. And of course, Akura supports this. So now the backup. Backup is at the beginning the same flow. Also here we have the replication agent on the source machines. We take the snapshots, store them. Now this is where the difference comes in object storage. So for VR, we use block device volume storage. For backup, of course, we use object storage because it's much more cost effective. Any S3 compatible Samba or NFS storage does the job. Yeah. And now comes the point. If I tell that for disaster recovery, we have a very fast RTO because we use block device storage, some customers or prospects say, hey, that's very cool, such a fast RTO. But tell you what, I am not Amazon who's losing $100 million in a single minute of downtime. I'm not so much concerned about an RTO of 30 or 40 minutes. I'm more concerned about my money. And object storage obviously is much more cost effective. It's cheaper. And this is why now Hystax offers the so-called double storage, the combination of the two worlds, backup and disaster recovery, where we can combine both storage types. So I recommend to our partners, why not be smart and store the very last or the last 3 snapshots or restore points in block device storage so that you still benefit from this very fast RTO of just the booting time of the machines. And the older snaps, and also the same 3 ones, you put into cheap object storage. Bam. Because with double storage, Hystax Akura can offer you multiple targets for one and the same restore point. That's the idea. And Max can tell you exactly and more how in detail this works. And therefore, I'm ready and over. Let me stop and hand over to Max. Max, the stage is yours.
Right. Thanks, Adrian, for the introduction and the description of overall features of our solution. So I will be more concentrated on the technical side, and I will show you how this new feature looks like in our UI. So I think that you see my screen right now. So what we can see here is the Akura console panel, the central manage parts of the solution. We have several customers here for this demo. I will use this one for it, but first of all, I want to jump to overall high-level diagram and remind you how the whole setup looks like. So here we have the controller on the target cloud. This is the management parts, and it contains the UI, the API, and it manages all other moving things. On the source side, we have replication agents and source infrastructure. On the target side, we have the target cloud. We have the tenants in that cloud, and we also have for this demo we also have S3-like file storage, which will be used for storing the backups. So usually when we perform DR in classical way, the target storage will be block storage, meaning that we will create block devices or cloud volumes in the target customer tenant. We will fill that volumes with the data when we replicate data, and then we will use that volumes or their snapshots as the restore points in order to recover the machines in the target cloud in case of disaster. The process of the recovery as a virtual machine is very fast in this case, but yes, as Edwin said, it is not cost effective to have multiple snapshots for the target volumes for the target block devices, because cloud providers, they charge you for the provisioning space, not the actually used space for in case of block devices and their snapshots. So that means that storing multiple restore points in this case might be very expensive. On the other hand, we have an ability to store restore points in S3-like file storage. In this case, the data we replicate will be deduplicated. It will be compressed, and in the upcoming release, you will be able to also actually encrypt that data. That storage is usually cheaper, much cheaper than block storage, and actually you have been charged only for the user space in that storage, not by the provisioned space, by the full size of the disks of your protected virtual machines. That means that you can store multiple restore points, having the long retention history, and yes, you can just build the long history of the restore points. But on the other hand, in case if you need to recover some restore points as a virtual machine on the target side, it will take time, because first of all, it will be needed to transfer the data from backup storage to the block device, and only then we will be able to run the machine. So the central idea of the feature is to merge central use case is to merge the beauty of both approaches. On the first, on one side, it's good RTO when you use block devices, and on the other hand, the cheaper S3-like storage. So how we do that? Let's navigate back to our demo stand. Here we have the list of the target platforms, the list of the clouds we connected to this to the SecRun. What happened here? Okay, so imagine that I want to add the new target OpenStack here. I also can select other types of the clouds that we support. You see this list. Here I put the credentials, how to connect to that target platform, user domain, username, password, and so on. And as the new setting here is that you can not only choose what will be the primary target storage here. So by default, it's a block devices, but as before, you can also select the different types of S3-like object storages or edge blob storage or SMB or NFS. But now you can also select the secondary storage type, meaning that you can combine both block devices and backup storages. Of course, you can add two backup storages as well in case if you want to implement some distributed storage for your restore points. But we are speaking now about this approach when we store some restore points in the block devices and other restore points in backup storage. So I have already configured storage here. So not this one. So exactly the case. The full list of the parameters that we said before. How it looks like from the point of view of the usual customer. Here we have the two machines. They have some restore points. Actually, they have multiple restore points. And if I navigate through these restore points, I will see some differences from the previous approach. For example, for this restore point, as you see right here, we have two counters, how much space we consume in not only one, but two storages, the primary and secondary. And also you can see the same for each of the restore points. And when we navigate to the older restore point, you can see that this restore point is actually not presented in the block storage, but only presented in backup storage. And that's also true for other restore points. So effectively, for this machine, we store only the latest restore points in the block storage, and other restore points will be stored only in backup storage, in more cheaper backup storage. This policy can be set through the retention settings. Now we have the retention settings split for both storages connected for this customer, and you can independently set how many restore points you want to keep for every storage type. So here I store only the latest one for fast recovery in case of disaster, but here I store more restore points, 5 actually, for storing historical data and recovering from dead restore points in case if you need. What have been changed from the recovery standpoint? When you launching the cloud side, you can select the date. You can expand this drop down. And here, for each of the machines in the disaster recovery plan, you can select the actually restore points, what actually restore points and from which storage you want to recover this machine. So that's very convenient for you. You by default, the restore points will be taken from the most performance storage from the block storage, and in case if you want to restore from the latest restore points, it will be automatically selected. But if you want to restore machine from the other restore point, from the backup storage, you can do that as well. Also, of course, you can see the same information on the cloud side page. So this machine has been spinning up from backup storage, while this one, the Ubuntu one, were spinning up from the block storage, and actually it was quicker recovery. And as before, the file and folder restore, it works similarly well for both types of the storages. You can use either block storage for recovering the files from the restore points, or you can use backup storage to create the connection to files and folders, and it will be also created in just a couple of minutes as you restore from the block device. Okay, that's actually the overview. Yeah, I had the question from Diana. So she asked how would we have best RTO when we recover from the volume snapshots. So the answer is for the most storages, when you recover from the block devices snapshots, it will be the best RTO, because most of the storages, they use copy on write for volume from snapshot operation, and that means that the creation of the volume from the snapshots is very quick. But we also see that some storages, they do not use copy on write for volume from snapshot creation, and for such storages, we added the so-called snapshotless mode for the block storages, which you can set in the target cloud configuration. And in this case, the snapshots will be not created at all, and the actual target volume will be used as a single restore points for the recovery. But on the other hand, now you can work with that. You can work with that because the historical restore points they will be actually stored in the backup storage.
So for me, Max, as a layman, there's really no difference for the RTO if I want to fail over, recover a VM with 100 gigabyte of data or 5 terabyte. It just takes more or less the same, like 1 minute.
For the block storage, it depends on the backend storage system. For storages, block storage that you actually use copy on write for volume from snapshot operation, it doesn't matter for them how big is the volume for the volume and snapshot from which we restore. But for the backend storages, block storages which do not use copy and write, this will take some time, and it will depend on the size of the disk. The same is true for the backup storages, because as I said before, first of all we will need to transfer the data from the actual restore points from this storage to the block one.
Okay, so what you just said. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Here's the other question about the MySQL databases and the application awareness of Akura, of its strictly on a VM level. Can you answer?
Yeah. Okay, so regarding the application awareness, so the actual implementation of application awareness snapshot depends on the type of the replication agent. So let's go through the types of the replication agents. So for external agents, we rely on the so-called quiz policies. So for VMware, by default, we always create a quiz snapshot, meaning that VMware will call the VMware tools in order to run some post and pre and post snapshot scripts to be application aware of the applications on the machine that we replicate. On Overs and OpenStack, we also call for the snapshot creation with squeeze, meaning that camel agent will be called by the platform. On Windows, we create VSS snapshots, which also activate VSS writers. And on Linux, we have pre and post snapshot scripts as well, to which you can add comments for your specific application to be aware about the backup and snapshot.
Just by the way, for people who did not get it, we are already now in the Q&A session. So drop your questions, please.
Yeah. Next question from Diana: Can we use an external agent in OpenStack without having to configure Ceph? Yes. It's a very good question. At this moment, we require the Ceph for OpenStack in OpenStack in order to use external agent. But of course, we see that the demand for the support of non-Ceph packets OpenStack is also quite high. That's why we are now working on the new replication agent, which will work on the hypervisor level. It will work on the level on camel level, and it should provide wider support for the backend storages for such replication agents. So please wait for a couple of months when we will officially announce the details about such type of the agent.
There's one question from Mr. Tatsumi or Mrs. Tatsumi. Is this running for each VM disk unit or entire VMF as data store?
So regarding the handle with consistency group backup, from the Acura side, we do not work with consistency group backup. If you speak about the multiple VMs, we work on the VM level and take the snapshot on the VM level. But yes, your voice is heard, and we will write it to the request. Does the use of the double storage have an impact on the failback? No, absolutely no. Because the double storage is actually more about the replication and storage side, while failback is applied to the recovered VM. After the actual recovery, being that recovery from the backup storage or from the block storage, the failback can be applied to the recovered VM. How many different targets can be used for one and the same restore point? From the UI standpoint, you can add two storages. You can add two backup storages or one block storage and one backup storage. But from the API, you can add more storages. There is no hard limit on the number of the actual storages, but the only limit is that there should be only not more than one block storage in that list. So you can create the connection with one block storage and two backup storages, place your restore points simultaneously to AWS S3 and Azure Blob Storage and so on. Is Storepool supported for a storage vendor for double storage? It is. I don't really know what is the meaning for the block devices or for the backup storages.
Maybe in general. So do
they? In general, for block devices, if it is backing some OpenStack block devices, of course we support that, because for the block devices we are almost storage agnostic. The only exception is the creation of the recovered volume from the snapshot. Uh, but from the replication standpoint, for any storage that is back in block devices, we can write to them because we write data on the VM level. So we write data when we uh, uh, attach target volume to cloud agent instance, and that target volume becomes local block devices for this utility instance. That means that we are totally backend
Yeah.
storage agnostic.
And we used to work with them. Actually, there's a case study even in Malaysia. I remember with Storpool, but maybe for the backup, do they fall in the category S3 compatible? NFS? I don't know. That's a question, right?
Yeah, in case if store pool provides some API which is compatible with this list, S3 compatible storage, SFTP, NFS, SMB. We can use it as backup storage,
I assume,
backup storage as well.
given the situation that they're quite big and known, and I think they should have this. So it doesn't sound like a very specific
Yeah,
requirement. Okay, cool.
I think
Thanks.
that as well.
So the question from Diana, latest one. Diana, I like that you're very active asking questions. Robert as well. By the way, how's the license calculated when we run the ARM failback? The failback is part of the DR process for us. A disaster recovery solution has to be failover and obviously also failback. Otherwise, I would not call it a automated disaster recovery solution. And this is why with single license, the failover and the failback is included, of course. Okay, guys, last chances. Hannah.
Uh, Scalable codes, what level of consistency is going to be during failover? Also, are there any known limitations on background when using Hystax DR? If your regarding limitations, if you use clustered MSSQL and it uses some shared drive which is connected by, for example, iSCSI, not actual Microsoft feature, that will improve you into the situation when this synchronization disk can't be properly snapshotted and replicated, and that's the limitation. From the level of consistency, if you use internal replication agent for Windows, we will also call VSS writer for the MS which will prepare the database for the backup before creating the snapshot. And if you use external agent, the virtualization guest agents will also call that VSS writers. So I don't see any issue here, actually.
Okay, Robert again. How does double storage impact overall cost in the long term? Okay, object only block storage. The point is, what do you achieve if you want just some long-term storage with some retention policies? Backup is fine, obviously, but then so the question is, do you want to have DR solution for the specific VM or is backup enough? And if you want to have DR, then you should go with the block device storage because it provides a very fast RTO, as I explained in the beginning of my presentation already. It also on expense on the cost, it's more expensive. And exactly because of this, we have this combination so that you can keep only one snap in the block device storage and all the older in cheap object storage. If you only use object storage, then you don't need DR, obviously, and then of course it's more cost effective. But if you need DR, you should be happy that you have here now the situation that you can use both storages because then it's you combine the fast RTO with the low storage prices. So obviously the double storage, of course, has a huge over impact on your strategy. Because otherwise you have only backup and then you don't have DR, or if you have DR, you have DR with a very bad RTO. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any limitation using DR scenario in OpenStack with self storage and vault-based encryption? If you talk about the external replication agent for such setup, we do not support such setup because we actually won't be able to read the unencrypted data from the Ceph, because in this case we work directly with Ceph. But if you need badly needs this feature, the doors are open for the requests, and we can talk about it in details. Just write us.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys, I see guys from Airtel. You are testing it right now. You have many questions, keeping our support team busy. So make use and talk directly to the CTO now. Do you have any specific questions, maybe from today's jobs? Don't be shy. No?
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, you know our contacts. Contacts. Feel free to write us. We are always open for the discussion, for the requests, and yeah, let's
Amen.
communicate.
Exactly. You know where to find us. If still sometimes questions come up later. Oh, why did I not ask it? No problem. Just drop me an email, support@hystax.com, or to me. We are always happy to answer them, of course. Okay. Then looks as this it was over 45 minutes, almost perfect in time. A little bit faster is always good, so that you can do whatever you now want to do. Thanks again for your time and interest, and hope to see you back next time.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you.
Bye bye.